Hey, what is up guys? My name is Oleg, this is Bond. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to do a full review of a watch called P-51 Mustang from Avi-8 Watch Company. Let's get started. Full disclosure, this watch was sent in for free by Avi-8. Of course that's not going to affect the review in any way. Now let's talk about the case size and dimensions. So the watch has a 44mm case diameter. It has a lug-to-lug width of 50mm, a lug width of 22mm, and the thickness of 13.5mm. Here's what the watch looks like on my 7¼ inch wrist. I think for this size, the 44mm size, overall the watch does wear well and comfortable. It is a Flieger watch, so Flieger watches tend to be on the larger side, so 44mm I think is still reasonable for this style of watch. The crown guard is comfortable enough. It doesn't really dig into my wrist, something that I was afraid of when I saw this watch on pictures. Alright, with the case dimensions out of the way, let's actually talk about what I think about this watch. And my gut feeling is I don't really love it. It's okay. It's kind of divisive for me, if I'm being honest, because there are some elements that I like, but there are, I think, more elements that I don't like, and a lot of them are just personal preference, but some of them are objective negatives. So let's first talk about the things that I do like. And one of the big things that I like is actually the case shape and the case finish. So we have a brushed bezel and we have a polished finish all around the case. I also really like the case shape. I like these pointing down lugs. I don't mind the crown guard at the 3 o'clock position. It's chunky, it's kind of reminiscent of some Panerai watches. And there's the crown at the 3 o'clock position as well. The crown is tough to operate, so that's an objective negative. I think it's a bit tough to pull out and to wind the watch and to set the time. The design of it is not ideal. Also, the crown is not a screw down crown, so the watch only has 50 meters of water resistance. Even though it has a screw down case back, the case back is see-through, displaying this movement powering this watch. You probably guessed it by now, a Seiko NH35. I don't have to tell you much about this movement. You are probably very familiar with it. One interesting thing about the movement, I guess, is the fact that the rotor is custom with the Avi-8 logo. So I guess that's a cool detail. Mine is running fairly accurately. I'm getting plus 18 seconds per day. The crystal on the watch is a domed sapphire crystal with some AR coating. I really like this crystal, and the combination of the crystal and the case are my favorite parts of the watch. It creates some very interesting viewing angles, and I really like how it plays with the light, so really well done on the crystal. A couple of other things that I like about the watch. Number one, the packaging. The packaging is pretty good. It comes in this big box. Kind of reminds me of a Omega boxes, but a budget alternative, if you will. Inside the box there's this limited edition metal card. There's a Velcro strap. Actually, that strap is fairly useless. I tried putting it on this watch. It's very difficult to put it on. It's very uncomfortable. In my opinion, is completely useless. It also has a spring removal tool, so overall the packaging is pretty good. And the second thing that I like is this leather strap. So the watch comes on this really nice tan leather strap. Well, actually the watch is available in a few different colors, so it depends which color you get. You get a corresponding leather strap in different colors. The one that I have has this tan leather strap, and I really like it. I like the design of it. It's very comfortable right out of the box. Sometimes when you get a leather strap, it can be a little stiff and it takes some time to wear into. This one here was soft right out of the box, so really like this leather strap. The only negative of the leather strap is the fact that it doesn't have quick release pins. So those were the positives of the watch. Now let's talk about some of the things that I don't like. And the biggest negative, to me at least, well actually there's a few, but one of the biggest ones is the design of the dial. I think watch dials are very important because when you look at your timepiece, that's the first thing that you see. The case, shape, the comfort, all of that is of course very important, but the design, your enjoyment of the design is up there. And the design of this watch, not my cup of tea. I think it's just a little bit overstyled. I understand what they were going for. If you look at their website, they show various elements of the design of the dial, as well as this crown guard, as well as the leather strap, and it all is there to mimic or pay homage to certain elements of the P-51 Mustang plane, which is a cool idea. But when it's too much of it, it becomes a little tacky, at least in my opinion. The best metaphor I have for how I feel about this dial is if you take a car and you put a lot of a body kit on it, you put a spoiler, you lower the suspension, you put big rims, and you put all this other stuff, but you don't change the engine, the car doesn't automatically become faster. It's just the same car with all these accoutrements on it. So that's kind of how I feel about this watch. I feel like this is a watch that they took and they put a body kit on it, they put faux screws on it, they put this VPH plate between 1 and 2 o'clock to indicate vibrations per hour. They put this red date wheel. They added levels to the dial. I do like a nice sandwich dial, but this kind of asymmetrical cutout doesn't really work for me. Maybe some people like it. I think it's just too much going on. But the design is not all negative. There are a few things that I like. I really like the set of hands. The set of hands here are of course mimicking hands on a gauge clusters on airplanes, so that's a cool detail. I also like a sandwich part of the dial, that's cool, and the lume is actually pretty good. Here's a lume shot. The red seconds hand works, but the red date wheel doesn't work. This VPH plate, get rid of it. So yeah, it's just a little bit overstyled. I already mentioned the negative of the crown. It's not a screw down crown, giving this watch only 50 meters of water resistance. It's okay for a Flieger, but 100 would still be preferred. It's also a bit difficult to operate. And then there's a price, $365 US for this watch. I think it's a little bit too high with the Seiko NH35 movement. Now, the specs are there. The packaging is good. It has a sapphire crystal stainless steel case. It's kind of a funky watch, so I guess $299 is the correct price in my opinion. $365 a little bit too high. So that's it. That's the review of this Avi-8 watch. Not for me, but if you like it, if you like this design, if you like the style, go for it, buy what you like. I appreciate you watching this video until the end. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, that'd be cool. And leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this Avi-8 watch, and if you'd like me to review more Avi-8 watches in the future, because this is the first one I'm reviewing. I don't know if they'll be willing to send me any more after this review, but if you want to see more, let me know. And you've probably already seen reviews of this exact watch from other watch reviewers if you follow a few of us, and my guess is you probably are, because Avi-8 reached out like 2 or 3 months ago, I think 2 months ago, and they sent out these watches, so maybe check out other reviews. By the way, today on my wrist I'm wearing my Rolex Explorer. I bought this watch about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. Has it been that long? I did a video of my buying experience of this watch. That video can be found on the channel. It's actually the most popular video on my channel at the moment. That's pretty cool. I will also leave a link to that video in the description below. Also in the description below, there is a secret link. Have a look if you're curious. Thanks for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
No, there's no...
Wants to eat it. Do you like it?